Actually, this is as real as it gets.
Hey, this is Marcia Prince, IFBB Bikini Pro and Guest Berry Nutrition spokesmodel, and you are listening to the UCW radio show, In Your Face.
The number you have reached, 911, has been changed to a non-published number.
You're listening to UCW Radio. In Your Face.
All right, welcome to the UCW radio show. This is your host, Louis Velazquez, and it's a beautiful day out. The birds are chirping, the sky is blue, and in a little bit we're going to have actress Dianne Sullivan on the show with us to talk about her awesome journey to date in the world of entertainment. Nowadays, if you turn on the TV or put on the radio or Sirius or whatever you're listening to or watching, what you're hearing about is, it's all about Japan, its disaster, which is horrible. They're suffering more and more earthquakes, and it's getting more and more international attention. But you're seeing a lot of about the war in Libya and the war in Iraq. My God, don't we have enough natural disasters that take lives to cover things already? Do we have to continue to go and try to do it purposely? Anyway, I guess not. Look, we just keep creating scenarios that will potentially cost the lives of our young soldiers and, of course, the lives of the opposition and civilians, so on and so forth. I just don't get it sometimes, but maybe that's the point, to have you focus on one thing, to be distracted from what the real deal is. Look, at the end of the day, who knows what's going on? It could be a head fake. It can be a Houdini deal. Who knows? But anyway, moving on. I was in Union Square over the weekend in New York City, and the weather was really nice. The people were swarming. It was crowded, and the protesters were protesting. I don't know. I think they were protesting gay rights or against the war. I really don't know what they were protesting, but all I know is that there were a ton of people there. And it was an interesting way to spend a weekend. Without a doubt. Well, right now we have actress Dianne Sullivan. She's on hold, and she's an amazing talent and a great all-around person. But I'm not going to tell you all about her and all about that, because that would make the show pretty boring, and you'd just be hearing my voice the entire show. Well, not that that's a bad thing, but still, we're all about bringing on the guest. So without further ado, let's bring on Dianne Sullivan. All right, we're here with actress Dianne Sullivan. Dianne, welcome to the UCW radio show.
Thank you, Lou. I'm really glad to be here.
Well, we're glad to have you because, you bring a little of this and a little of that to the table.
I'm glad to hear that you think so.
Hey, all I can do is think, right? I can't do much more, and even the TV.
Well, from what I hear, you're the man that makes things happen. So.
I don't know. I try, but I don't know. All I can do is try. Thinking, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So, and as long as I'm taking my little vitamins, I'm good. But now this is not about me; it's about you.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So, Dianne, for our listeners that aren't too familiar with you, maybe you can give us a brief as to who you are and what you do so that they can get a better idea. And for those that aren't familiar with you, I don't know why they're not, but let's just do that. Let's go through the preliminaries.
Okay. Ask away, and I'll answer anything that you have.
Okay. Well, how did you get involved in acting? Because you're an actress. You've done a number of things.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go right ahead.
Well, honestly, in the beginning, according to a couple of actor friends of mine, they saw that they didn't think it was anything, no news flash when I finally threw my hat into the ring. They said that they could see it all along. I've done TV for years. I had a TV show in which I co-hosted. I was always in some way in front of an audience. From the time that I was like 6 or 7, I was using skills in the woodwind family. I blew the flute, and I was winning contests. I don't know why I was always extending myself in that manner. I guess it was a part of me to want to do this, and I just didn't realize it. I thought perhaps the biggest decision I had to make was either being a police officer or a doctor. And so when I was 8th grade, I decided, okay, I want to go into the medical field, and so that's what I did. I became an EMT. I also got a degree in medical lab technology. So I was thinking really that's what I wanted to do, and I guess there's still a part of me because I ran a foundation for many years for individuals that had autoimmune illnesses. My father had died of an autoimmune illness. I had been diagnosed with lupus many years ago, but I do absolutely great. And so there was a passion to help people. And I think one of the greatest ways to help people is to put a smile on their face. And I think being an entertainer, that's one way that you can do that for people. You know, I think it's a circle for me, of trying to bring happiness and, to people. And I think entertaining is a way to do that. And I think that's why I'm here. I think that's why I'm here to help someone have a better day, you know, that otherwise probably they wouldn't have one. If you could smile, I'm hoping to put that on your face.
I mean, that's a good way to look at it. But I mean, it's interesting how you went from having a toss-up between being a cop and putting people away for life to becoming in the medical field to saving lives, and now you're actually enhancing lives through entertainment. It's very interesting.
Well, I'm thinking that it wasn't so much as, you know, putting someone away as being a cop as it was helping, protecting, in some type of caring for people. Because not only will I give you the shirt off my back, I'll give you the last morsel of food that I have. And so I think it's just about preservation of people. And I think that's just a part of me that I just want people to have a good life if it's possible, that I can somehow contribute to that. I want to help people, genuinely just help people. And it's just inside of me to want to do that. And I think sometimes, you know, when you can't do anything else, if you can put a smile on someone's face, I think that's a big thing. Because I was sad, you know, for a long time in my life when I was sick for a long time. And if I could have smiled, and that would have been great. And there were times I remember when I was doing modeling, and this was in the 80s. And I remember this photographer telling me, "You're smiling, but you're not happy." And that really stuck with me. And so I genuinely would love to put a smile on someone's face. And then I feel like I've accomplished something for that day, because I know what it's like to have a plastered smile and it's really not genuine.
Well, that's deep, because, a photographer, they see beyond what they see in front of you or what other people see. So that's very interesting. And something like that, you know, the way it seems, it changed your perspective on you.
Oh, actually, it really did. I think when I really could find a niche in helping someone else, it really took, it made me better, because, as I had stated before, I had been diagnosed with lupus, and so I was sick for a long time. So for a long time, that disease was controlling me. And I decided that, hey, I'm not going to allow this to control me. I'm going to control it. And you actually can. You can not try to be who you were before, but you can make yourself better from where you are right now.
Right. No.
So you take the reins in your hands and you say, okay, I may not be able to do this, but I can do this, and I can do this so much better, because this part of me is going to be enhanced because I can't utilize that part anymore. And so I think it's all about perspective.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. But I'm looking, and just so our listeners know, you know, I was just looking at your listing as far as everything you've been involved in: film and television, commercials, modeling, infomercials, hosting, this, that, you know, all this other stuff. And a lot of people that, I'm not going to say a lot, I'm going to say there are people that would be diagnosed with lupus or some other unfortunate illness, and they'd curl up in a ball in a corner, and it'd be the woe is me type of scenario, but, that's not what you're about.
I really hope, and I remember, because I used to have clients when I worked with this foundation, I remember talking to several patients, and they would say, I would see your commercial on TV, and I was very moved, or I would see your commercial or your interviews and things that I would try to talk to my family about, and they wouldn't understand. They heard you talking about it, and they had a better perspective on what I was going through. And I've also heard people say, by seeing you doing the things that you do and you were diagnosed, I now believe that I can do something, because people, they suffer in silence, Lou. Mm-hmm. They really do. I've been there. Mm-hmm. And so what I tried to do was put under the umbrella of the foundation some type of solution to the various different issues that I had, because if I encountered them, I knew someone else did as well. Mm-hmm. And people need to know that there are other people that do understand what's going on with you. I didn't have that. I didn't have anybody.
You didn't have anybody that would be able. You didn't have anybody that was able to empathize.
No, because they couldn't understand. And you can tell when you're talking to people, you can see in their eyes if they really understand what you're saying or not.
Right.
And when they don't, you just draw back. And so I didn't want that to continually occur in the lives of other people. So not only did I want to get involved with helping other people, my children also did the same thing. Mm-hmm. So every Thanksgiving, instead of us sitting around having a big Thanksgiving dinner, we were always giving out food to the needy. Mm-hmm. So the children knew that when November came, it was a work month for them.
Right.
So we always would get, 5 or 1,000 chickens from Tyson Foods, and all the various different stores would contribute things, and we would go out and we'd give it to people, that didn't have anything. Mm-hmm. And I wanted them to learn compassion. I started that with them at an early age.
Wow,
so it's all about helping people. It's all about helping people.
Yeah, but something, I think that's fantastic, and I commend you on that, Dianne, because, look, a lot of people, people will listen to this and listen to you on this show, and they would say that they're going to say, wow, because they don't know. They see a picture, they read a bio, so on and so forth, but they don't know who the real person is. They'll hear other interviews elsewhere, no doubt about it, but they'll never know what you're laying out right now, and I thank you for that, because people need to hear the real story, and this is what we're doing here, and again, amidst your illness, amidst you doing the stuff for the charitable organizations and doing stuff in November during the holidays and helping people, you find time to go and work on your career,
Well, I appreciate you saying that. In my mind, how can you not, if it's a part of you? Right. And I don't think that everyone is supposed to do the same thing. Mm-hmm. I think that if you do what you're supposed to do, then you're going to be knitted together and woven together, because everyone would be in their place. Mm-hmm. But I think if something is a part of you, it makes it easier to do. It just may seem harder for someone else because it's probably just not what they're supposed to do.
Right.
In my opinion. I don't know, but that's just my opinion.
Well, when something feels natural, it's just easier to do. If something feels unnatural, you can have difficulty doing it. And just like everyone is not, a singer. If I try to sing, just imagine me singing. That'd be scary.
No, I'm not going to try to imagine that, Lou.
No. Hey, what's up with that? No, but
oh no.
I'll do a one-word Motown thing. That's about it. I don't think I can go any further than that.
One-word Motown.
Yeah, one word. I'll just be.
I'm sure they'll sign you on.
Yeah, okay. But when something feels natural, you go with it, and it should be easy to do. Not everyone is a rocket scientist, not everyone's a musician, not everyone is a technician, whatever the case may be, not everyone is a talented actor, you know, but you go with what you have, the abilities you have, you know. But and for you, you know, look, and I'm going to lay this out for our listeners. You know, you dance, you play an instrument or two, you know, and you've been, and it's interesting that you've been, you know, involved in so many different things beyond acting, that I'm just amazed that you continue to forge forward so strongly.
Well, I try to do a little bit of something every day. For individuals that have been diagnosed with lupus, they understand that you can get fatigued. But I think it's important that you always do something every day.
Right.
You find whatever it is that you want to do in life. Doesn't matter what it is. Mm-hmm. You need to do something every day towards that goal. Mm-hmm. And even if you don't have an autoimmune illness, it's important that you do something towards your goal. Otherwise, you're going to perish.
Right.
You will perish. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's important for yourself, for your inner being, mm-hmm. that you do something towards whatever it is that you're supposed to do.
I mean, you have one life to live.
So I try to do that.
You have one life to live, and that's it.
True.
Yeah.
That's it.
So let me ask you, Dianne. Now, yes. The organization, just so I really want to talk about your acting career, and actually in about a minute, in about a minute, we're gonna take a short break, and actually we'll come back with your acting career after the break. But what I want to do is let our listeners know the organization that you're actually doing work for. Maybe you can give the name and the website if you want to.
Well, actually, I did a lot of the work before I started into acting because it was totally consuming. The organization that I also worked with was the Arthritis Foundation, because with the Arthritis Foundation, they actually help individuals that have a variety of joint and muscle illnesses. The Living with Lupus Foundation that I was the founder of, we primarily helped people with lupus, sarcoidosis, scleroderma, various autoimmune illnesses as well, but we always co-worked with the Arthritis Foundation. So if anyone is wanting to help, please help the Arthritis Foundation, because under their umbrella is a number of illnesses, over 100 different types of autoimmune illnesses that need to be addressed that are not addressed. Mm-hmm. You know, cancer, all of those things are very important, mm-hmm. but you have a lot of people that are suffering in silence, and they just, you know, people around them in their family or friends, if they don't understand, they're not going to, it's hard for people sometimes that are suffering to explain to other people what's going on with them when they don't understand it themselves. Mm. So, I've encountered that a lot. So the Arthritis Foundation would be a good organization to try to work with.
Okay, well, there you have it. Arthritis Foundation is interesting. They cover a wide spectrum of different illnesses, so it's really interesting because I didn't know that, so you taught me something today. But now we need to take a short commercial break, and we will be right back with Dianne Sullivan.
The odds of becoming a signed artist and having 3 #1 albums? 1 in 100 million. The odds of going on to win 6 Grammy Awards? 1 in 1.4 million. And the odds of this performer having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 150. I'm Toni Braxton, and I encourage you to learn the signs of autism at autismspeaks.org. Autism Speaks. It's time to listen.
Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
It is with sound mind and body that I, James Fredericks III, after fighting with all direct family members for decades, leave my entire fortune of $32 million to the one friend I had in the end, the package delivery guy, Matt Songer.
Woohoo! Yeah! I had a feeling about this. I'm rich! Oh, this cannot be happening.
Actually, it's not happening.
What?
And it never will.
I don't get it.
There aren't even people here. That's just one of those murmuring sound effects.
Seriously?
Listen, if you want to have money in your future, don't rely on luck. Put $10 away each month. Cook once in a while instead of eating out.
Okay.
Pay down your high-interest credit cards.
Right.
Small changes today, big bucks tomorrow.
So, no inheritance.
No. Go to feedthepig.org for more free ideas. Feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
And just to be clear, no inheritance, right?
Hey guys, this is Tina Sugun. You're listening to the UCW radio show with Lou in your face.
And we're back with Dianne Sullivan. Dianne, welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Lou.
Yeah, we're talking about lupus. We're talking about the Arthritis Foundation and everything that you've encountered and what you've done and how you lived your life. But now, let's talk about some specifics and regarding your career. You're from New Zealand, right?
Well, actually, I have my family is. I've never actually left the country.
Okay.
So, I've actually lived in the South all my life.
Okay. Well, hence the southern type of kind of thing to your voice.
Absolutely.
A little bit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, all the way down to the fact that I had a pet pig named Tinkerbell. So.
No, did you really?
Yes, I did.
Oh
yes.
my God, that's hilarious. So what's up with
yes.
What's up with that? How is it raising a pig? Let's see.
Well, let's say it can be torturous, especially when you can wake up one morning and Tinkerbell is no longer outside, and it doesn't cross your mind that Tinkerbell is no longer living. It doesn't cross your mind until your brother tortures you and say, Tinkerbell is crackling now. So that was awful.
Yeah,
that was awful.
That's bad. That's bad. But Tinkerbell. But yeah, I always, like you watch these shows on TV, like the old time shows. I forget the name of it, but they had a pet pig, and I think about Wilbur.
Green Acres.
Green Acres. There you go.
Green Acres. Yes.
Pet pig. But that's interesting. I hear pigs are clean though, but then I'm not sure.
I don't know, but I don't eat them, so.
Oh well, there you go. Well, you can't eat Tinkerbell. That's not going to work.
Oh, absolutely not.
No, that would be a mental thing, I think.
No pork for me.
No pork for you. So now you've done, you as I said earlier, in the show, you're involved in dance. You know how to dance. You get down. You get jazz, ballet, so on and so forth. And you've done a lot of television work. Let's start there. Let's talk about your TV career.
Okay. I was a regular detective on Good Guys. Unfortunately, we got canceled. I think it was December or November of 2010. I was a nurse. Nurse Jessica Cavella, RN, on Chase, and also the stenographer for the show. And unfortunately, also that show, it was an NBC show, if I remember correctly. It was canceled in December.
Okay.
Quite a few shows here in Texas were canceled. My Generation, I appeared on there about 5 or 6 times. No, I'm sorry, I think 7 or 8 times, and it also was canceled. It was actually the first one to be canceled. I don't know, are there a lot of politics, or people just didn't really like the show, or there are too many shows that are similar to it. I don't know. And we had started another show in Texas, Lone Star, and it got canceled. It had Angelina Jolie's father on it and some other prominent figures, and it didn't last either. So I don't know what it is about Texas here, but we have another show that I filmed the pilot last week. It's what's the name of it? And I hate saying the word, but the title of it is GCB, and it's an ABC pilot we just filmed. It has David, who is the attorney from JAG. He's on there. Annie Potts. I forgot the young lady that was on Iron Man. She's on there with us. So we have a good lineup of individuals that's on the pilot.
Mm-hmm.
So we're waiting to see what's going to happen with it. I think HBO has been looking at it.
Oh, nice.
So we just finished the pilot last week, so we're going to see how that goes. As far as, let's see, I think that's it as far as TV.
Well, you also did Friday Night Lights, but let me say this.
Friday Night Lights. Yes,
I remember that one. But you said about shows canceling and everything. I remember hearing this from a sitcom star, where she was she was a good actress, did some movies, and she got on the sitcom. Basically, she was warned. They said, you better hope that it flops, or they cancel the show. And she said, why? I said, well, if you're on a hit show, guess what? That's your tag. That's it. That's what you're going to be for the rest of your life. And if you think about it, you look at,
I can see that.
Yeah, you look at Adam West, Batman. Doesn't matter. He's Batman till he dies.
Or Gilligan. Can you imagine Gilligan doing anything else other than being, what is his name, Dan?
I forget. But yeah, so, but you look at him, it's like Gilligan. You look at other people, that's what they are, even Danny Bonaducci, it doesn't matter, where he goes, he's one of the Partridge Family, and that's, for the rest of his days, and you get tagged with that. Look at, when Gary Coleman was alive, that type of thing. So it's just, I don't see it as a negative. I see it as a positive. You were doing a lot of working with a lot of different actors, and it just groomed you a little more for what is in store for you next.
And I think that's a good way to look at it. Yeah. And I see that too, because with each show there is a different experience. Tom Hanks' son, he and I, we were talking one day, and he was on Good Guys. He was one of the stars of Good Guys.
Right.
And so it was very different working with Colin than it was working with, someone else on a different show. And so I think we can learn from each experience, each show, each film that we do. And so I can understand exactly what you're saying, because I think I am much better because of it. Because different actors bring different things to the set.
No, well, without a doubt, and you just learn and you enhance yourself, and that's what you're doing. That's why, when I see some actors that are involved in a whole bunch of different movies, I think it's interesting, because you see their progression as they do one film after another after another. One actor, and he's a good friend, Phil Morris. He was on Seinfeld.
Oh, yeah.
He's on Smallville, everything else. And he's probably one of the hardest working men or actors in Hollywood, because he doesn't. He looks at everything. He has no problem, working. He does his thing, but he's always working. Anytime I speak to the man, he's always working on a project, working on this, working on that. And he said, Lou, he says, you have to keep working, because once you stop working, then you're out of business.
Oh, that's true. And I really don't think that if I hadn't done the things that I had done, that I would be leading this play that I'm leading right now. It's going to premiere on June the 11th in Albany, Georgia. And we have a couple of other individuals, well, quite a few people actually that's in the play that I think brings an extraordinary amount of talent to the play. The name of it is The Measure of a Man. We have Damon Wilson, who played Lamont from Sanford and
Son. Damon he's a great guy, Damon Wilson. It's funny.
Oh yeah, you interviewed him.
Yeah, but we also became friends, which is fantastic. But he's a great guy. And then you mentioned his name associated with this. That just brought a smile to my face.
Well, actually, he just signed on. I think it was the 14th of March. He just signed on the 14th of March. So he's going to be my support.
Nice.
So I shouldn't even say that. I mean, because the man is phenomenal. I should be his.
Yeah.
But, yes.
Yeah, but he's a good man and preacher, in case anyone doesn't know. You know, Damon Wilson is a preacher and great guy. And he came out with a book, The Second Banana. I'm just throwing that plug in there since you brought him up. Second Banana.
Well, you know, I read it. I read the article, you know, that you wrote on him, and so I went to his page about it and everything. So, yeah.
Yeah, you have, and any of our listeners haven't purchased the book, haven't read it, go to your library, go to your bookstore and pick it up. The Second Banana.
Absolutely.
That's the story of Damon Wilson and his journey with Red Fox. But now getting back to you, Measure of a Man. It's a touring play, right?
Yes. So far, if you were to go to the site, The Measure of a Man, and you can also find it on Facebook. And so if you go to my fan page on Facebook, you would see Measure of a Man. And because I cannot remember the link, but if you go to my Facebook page, Actress Die, you'll be able to find all my links on there.
Okay.
But yes, the tickets went on sale April the 1st with Ticketmaster, so you can get your tickets there.
Oh, excellent.
And so it will premiere at 7 p.m. on the 11th in Georgia.
Okay,
and you'll find out all the specifics on the page as well.
That's June 11th, right?
June, yes.
June 11th. All right, that's the premiere of The Measure of a Man. Now, what I need to do right now, Dianne, and I do apologize, I want to speak about The Measure of a Man. I want to speak about the other projects you're working on, but we have to take a little musical break. So, so we're going to bring all listeners, we're going to bring you a tune from recording artist Swan. It's called Flex. And I hope you enjoy it, and we'll be right back.
Calm down in the middle of a song, in the
was a great song by Swan, recording artist Swan, called Flex. And so we're back here with Dianne Sullivan, actress, models. She's done everything under the sun, and so far, well, let's pick up where we left off. But I just want to let our listeners know that I'm still amazed about your story, your journey. And with what you've dealt with health-wise and where you are right now, and where you're going. I mean, your light is not even, it's not even getting started yet. Your little candle is not even blowing up yet. Okay, and it's getting there more and more. So,
well, I appreciate you saying that.
Well, it's the truth. I mean, I don't lie on this show. I can't. I can't. Even if it's something bad about me, I just keep rattling along. That's all. But it's true, because you've accomplished a lot, but you have a lot more to go. And this is just the beginning of your cycle. Now, The Measure of a Man, the touring play, it's going to premiere June 11th, and you said it was going to be in Georgia, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
And you can get tickets at Ticketmaster. And we also, just as people are listening to the show, you can just look at the Dianne Sullivan page, and you will see there'll be a link there to The Measure of a Man. So it just makes it easy. So you don't have to remember that, Dianne. They can just click on it and rock and roll and make it happen, and go there and get to the show. So now that's theater. Okay, let's look at some of your film projects, because I know you've been active in the film industry.
Yes.
To say the least, right?
Yeah. Well, I've definitely tried to be active. The last project that I've worked on, let's see, Bone Boys. It hasn't come out yet. Mm-hmm. It was a very small smart role in that. I was, the very first project actually that I did, Denizen, one of the things that you brought out a few moments ago was the fact that you can progress. Mm-hmm. And when I look at that, it's like, oh my gosh, is that really me? So you look at yourself, and sometimes you can't believe that you performed in that manner after you start to get a little better. Mm-hmm. And so, but it was my starting point, and originally when I was called for that role, and I had just thrown my hat in the ring maybe 2 days prior. Mm-hmm. I was called for the role, and I was told that, I would like for you to die and run from this monster. I didn't know any better, so I told the producer, I don't want to do that. I want to fight the monster. And so, in short, once I made it there, she told me, okay, you will not be killed by the monster. You'll be killed by the leading lady. And I was like, rats. She said, okay, it's your choice, the monster or a bullet. I said, I'd take the bullet, but give me the largest weapon in the movie. And so that's what she did. And so that's how that began. And she said, we got so many hits a couple of weeks or so after we had filmed. Everyone was wondering who was the new kid on the block. And so that's how I, after that, became a part of the comic book and the sequel that she's working on. So I went from an extra to a featured extra to one of the leads. So
that's a good progression. See,
all because I didn't know what I was doing. Yeah, I told her I didn't want to do that. I didn't know I'm not supposed to say that.
But you know something? It wasn't. And so, here's the funny thing. You said what came natural because you didn't want to do it. That was your first reaction. Where if, for people that are jaded or so consumed with the industry, they say what someone wants to hear as opposed to just saying what they feel. Uh-huh. And, sometimes you have to do what you need to do, but in your case, it worked out because you didn't compromise, but you didn't compromise yourself.
And that was my beginning because I enjoy action. Mm-hmm. And, so, she was going to have a leading lady and I fight, but, both of us have to know choreography, and so that wasn't working, and so we ended up having a little shooting scene. And so I was killed, and because of all of the calls, she arranged for me to come back now. So now I can't die. So somehow, I'm infected and I can't die. So
oh, nice.
That's how that works around. Yeah.
So you become the ultimate monster.
Well, hopefully, I'm supposed to be good. I'm supposed to be good. And she and I, the leading lady and I, we're supposed to be on the same side now, and we just don't like each other. So that's going to bring a little, I guess a little emotion there, if we ever start on that, second part of that film again. So.
Well, that's good.
But that's how it began.
You need drama. You need drama. You need things going on, without a doubt.
Yeah. I mean, I like using my sword. I love doing that. Superhero stuff is really what's in my blood, and I have to blame my brothers for that.
Okay.
Because they always would draw comics all the time, and they would always have me with this little tiny waist and doing different things, and so I think they just psyched me out. So now I think I'm a superhero. So.
Well, you know what, and I guess in a word, you kind of are. Especially when it comes to comic books. I wanted. To wait until now to even, start the conversation with it. I just wanted people to hear your journey, hear about where you've come from and what you've dealt with and where you're going. Because a lot of times, people just look at what's in front of them. Like they'll look at an actor, an actress, someone, an entertainer, someone that's a public figure. They just see what's in front of them. They read. And they believe what they read. They believe the propaganda. They believe all the stuff that's in front of them, as opposed to getting to know the person. They can't get to know them personally, of course, but you coming on a show like this, it allows them to connect with you a little more.
Yeah, well, things have not always been easy, especially, sometimes when you have had an autoimmune illness or something else in which you are isolated from people, because for a long time I was, just really by myself and just a very, very gullible person. I just really thought that everybody was really nice. And so, that cost me a lot, this was a bad part, that I can think of in my life in which I trusted someone that was a criminal. It's just, I just didn't know any better. And so, I remember when I had begun grade school, though. I remember my mom and dad taking me to grade school. I had just started, and it was an all-Caucasian school. And I remember I cried when they took me to school because I wasn't used to being separated from my parents. And the children treated me very, very well. And that was the first day. However, on the second day, life totally changed. I remember them saying that I had gone home and actually scrubbed the palms of my hands so I could be Caucasian. I remember that. And so I was treated harshly, but because of that, I stayed to myself and I spent a lot of time on my flute. I used to sit under this tree at home and blow my flute for hours. And I did not know how good I was. I really didn't. I think that was just my way of coping with the fact of having to go to that school and experiencing everything that I was experiencing. And I threw myself into that. And so I was entertaining the Kiwanis Club, and the teachers were taking me to different contests and things of that sort. And so I started off early doing what I'm doing, but I didn't know that I was really doing it. I was enjoying what I was doing and also escaping, I think.
Right.
So,
well, I
think I was really molded.
Well, you faced a lot of adversity, and I just want our listeners to understand, too, is that you were like a military brat as well, because you used to bounce around, right?
Well,
kinda.
Actually, I didn't really bounce around. I had family members in the military, but I wasn't, and my father, and he wasn't. One of the things that always happened in our family was that you always ate breakfast together. You may not eat lunch together, but you're going to eat dinner together. So breakfast and dinner, I mean, that was mandatory. The rest of your life, you know, it's fine. But no, I wasn't bounced around. I was the youngest of 10. If anyone got bounced around, it was pretty much the older ones. I stayed pretty close to mom and dad all the time.
Wow. 10 kids.
I actually remember,
wow.
10. And, you know, our ages are so far apart that all of us were never at home at the same time.
Oh, wow.
So I remember my eldest brother and my eldest sister. My eldest brother had his last child a year before my father and mom had me.
Oh, wow.
And my eldest sister had her last child a month after, during the same year that my father and mom had me. I was not born until my father was 65. So.
Go Pops.
That's what I said. But after me, you know, I made sure nothing else was gonna, you know, happen. So.
Yeah, you just gotta.
I had to be the last pea in the pod.
Yeah, like draw the line, you know. No moss, please.
This is it. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. But
yeah, that was the last hurrah.
But you know, the thing is, Diane, look, you face a lot of adversity, you know, and your story goes deeper. You know, I wish we had, you know, like hours to speak about it, because, you know, your whole story would definitely go much deeper than we have gone. But I think we went down that road, you know, because you didn't let adversity become an excuse for you. You embraced it and said, all right, bring it on, and just hit me with what you got, and you just keep moving forward.
You have to. You have to, because the moment that you stop, you die.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who you are, what your circumstances are. You have to fight.
Yeah.
You have to fight.
Well, and that's the fight in you, and you know that comes from, again, you know, you say that you know, you've experienced things in life and you've trusted others, and they weren't what they said, and they took advantage, the whole 9 yards. But I always believe that as opposed to saying, hey, you know what, I'm, you know, like the woe is me. Not that you're doing it, but the woe is me. I did this and did that. The way I look at it is okay. Yeah, you know what? I did that. This is what happened to me. It made me more who I am today than it did before. You know, you have you have the battle scars, you have the wounds, but you just keep moving forward, and it makes you, to me anyway, it gives you a little more clarity as to where you need to go and where you need to be.
Oh, I totally agree with you, because when I look back on especially, you know, trusting criminal people, that's a big deal for me in my mind. When I look back, though, I see that I am a much better person, because I understand more about life. Because I used to live in this rose-colored world that I had created in my mind. And that's just not the way that life is.
No.
And the experience opened my eyes. It just opened my eyes in a way in which I would prefer that it hadn't done so. But because of it, I'm a much better person, because I know what life is now.
Right.
And it's not the rose-colored world that my parents protected me from. It's just not like that. And my family loved me dearly, and they always would protect me from anything. But this was one thing they couldn't protect me from, and it allowed me to see the world how it really is. Not that the world is so terrible, but everything is just not black and white the way I had it in my mind. There are some gray areas, and I used to not have any gray. But I can understand that now. And it took me, actually, I had to be broken in my mind so that I could see that every police officer, let's say, that has a uniform on, that doesn't make him a good person.
No.
You know, and so I had to see some shocking things in order for me to say, okay, you need to look more at the fine details of people. You know, it's just not so black and white. And so I'm a much better person, a better judge of character now. than I was before.
Yeah, but that's good. And you talked about police officers. Yeah, not everyone is who they seem. You know, just because someone, and it's sad because when you're appointed or get the occupation or career of being someone that's supposed to protect people and you do things to hurt people, you know, that's horrible. You know, in New York, not too long ago, 2 police officers, you know, they got in trouble. I think they got arrested because they raped some girl. You know, because she was drunk in the village, and that to me that's disgusting. You're there, you're supposed to protect us, and to do stuff like that. And again, that doesn't bring all officers under one umbrella, you know, because you have a lot of good people out there. But it's just sometimes it's the few.
Pay attention to the details.
Yeah, that's it. You need to be aware. Don't just trust blindly.
Yeah.
And that's the point. Don't trust blindly.
And that's how I used to be. And so it actually took something to change my thinking. Someone just telling me not to was not going to do it.
Yeah, well, that's why. No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go.
I mean, someone just telling me just wasn't going to do it, and so it was a necessity for me to. And I understand that. I wasn't happy about it, but I understand that it actually took an incident for me to say, okay. Everybody really isn't nice. They're not who they're supposed to. And I know that sounds very shallow, but the truth is that's how I saw life, black and white, period.
Right. But life is gray. You know, sometimes there's no right and wrong. They're just choices. And people choose to do whatever. You know, if you have a uniform on and you choose to be, to do something bad, that's your choice as a human being, you know. So everything's not black and white, you know. And this is why, and I say this all the time, and this I'm going to take some time for, not time, take a minute. You know, people should definitely, no doubt about it, question authority sometimes. Don't go blindly, and I'm not talking about your parents. You know, sometimes you want to ask questions to your parents, but you know, when you're talking about a person that's in a position of power. You know, question.
Absolutely.
Don't go and be a sheep. You know, say, okay, well, you want to do this, you want to do that. Why? Ask the why, because that why may do a number of things. Save you unnecessary grief, save your life. It may do a lot of things. You don't know.
That's true.
Always ask why. Always ask why. Dianne, you have been a gem. And I thank you for coming on the show. What I want to do now, if you can let our listeners know how to follow your career, how to keep up with you. You know, and the one thing I forgot that I wanted to mention earlier is, you know, we talked about you being a superhero. You know, you're also a part of Weapons of Virtue, and that's a project that we have that's going forward full blast. And you're an intrinsic part of you're an integral part of what we're doing. So I wanted our listeners to know that.
Well, great. I mean, and I'm really excited about it. I'm really excited about you, Lou, to be perfectly honest. And you're heading all of this. You are the creative head, and you're allowing some of us to be a part of the creativity. And we are very appreciative of that. I cannot wait until we actually get everything going. We have a comic book, we have a film, we have a TV show, and I'm just really excited about it because, you know, I really love the part about being a superhero. I think that's just totally embedded in me almost from birth. And so to be a part of Weapons of Virtue is totally overwhelming for me.
Well, thank you for the kind words, Dianne. But you know, again, that project wouldn't be where it is. It wouldn't wind up going where it needs to go if it wasn't for the people involved. And you're one of those people. And as I said earlier, you're a dynamite person as a human being. You're a dynamite person. Your career is beginning to flourish, and it's going to go further and further. No doubt about it. You know, and I'm honored to have you. Not only as someone involved in the project, but I'm also honored to call you my friend, and that's a good thing for me. But on that note, what I like to do, if you can let our listeners know how to follow your career, how to find out more about you, and so on and so forth.
Oh, yes. Definitely, please, everyone, and I try to do this on Facebook, but please, everyone, always go to my IMDb, which is www.imdb.com/name, NAME/NM3004113. Everyone has a number, and that happens to be mine. Or if you just remember imdb.com and put Dianne Sullivan in there, you can find me. And you can see what I've done. You can see projects that I'm working on, and also keep up with my Facebook page, my Actress Die page. I will always keep updated information on there. I'm actually writing on 2 films right now. One's a sci-fi and one is biblical. But the biblical one has a lot of cinematography it's gonna be dynamite cinematography. So I'm really excited about that. But you can definitely keep up with me on Facebook, and I will keep everything updated as much as I can. And please come out to the play. I don't know all the cities yet that we're going to, but we will begin in Albany. So look up Measure of a Man on Facebook, and get your tickets at Ticketmaster.
Well, there you go, Measure of a Man. It's touring this year, and Dianne Sullivan is a part of it. Damon Wilson is just on board. He's from Sanford and Son, and he's a fantastic guy. So you have a great group of people there, and that's it. This was a fantastic show. Dianne, thank you again for coming on.
Thank you, Lou.
Oh, well, thank you. And I say it again. No, but seriously, you've opened my eyes with certain things, and there's certain things I didn't know about you until now, and it makes me feel closer to you and kind of put you a little further up on the appreciation level, and that's fantastic stuff. All right, so Facebook, you're welcome. Facebook, imdb.com. Check out Dianne Sullivan. And Dianne, stay with us. And what we're going to do, we're going to close out the show with a song by UK recording artist Tara London. It's called "A Beautiful Lie." Check it out, and you can go and find her. Just go to Google, put Tara London, and 1,000,001 things will come up. And until next time, this is Louis Velazquez, the UCW Radio Show, and make sure you check in when we have our next special guest, because it's always going to be good. Thanks, guys.
Always.
I am the dark days and the cold, lonely night. I'm the forgotten child who has sold every right. I am the beautiful girl you choose to ignore. Oh, why don't you hear me as I knock on your door? As my savior, you're the master of keys, injecting my bloodstream with a cold sense of ease. And now you're a stranger. I'm down on my knees. My soul is yours. I don't
showtime sequence.
What is your major malfunction?
So let it be written. So let it be done.
Ladies and gentlemen, my mother thanks you, my father thanks you, my sister thanks you, and I thank you.